am Shaggy, I am Philadelphia, and we are returning. Oh, I have to turn on my controller for my phone to recognize that the button prompts that I'm giving it with the controller as that thing I just said. So anyway, we're going to be returning to Titan Quest. We've had some technical difficulties the last few times I've tried to play Titan Quest. Made an effort at it, but that's fine. Here we are. Level 15 Magician. Get my hat on. And off we go. I don't remember what we were doing. Oh, that's right. We just popped out the other side of this cave because the last time I was playing I hadn't eaten. I've only had 300 calories today. And I've been live for a little while already today. We're going to want this here. And I need to familiarize myself with the buttons again. What weapon am I using? This is the spear. And this is the throwy boy. Here we go. Throwing. Hello, centaurs. I would like to ask you a few questions. Stab in the face. Love it. We love it. So much damage. And we'll get better at the buttons as we go. The longer we play, the better we will get, the faster we will get. That's not as long as I want it to be. Whoosh. Throwing knife in the face. Have that trapped. Oh, but I don't need it. Thwack, thwack, thwack. Oh, my bad. I almost let you live. That would have been my fault. Oh, no. Stabbing. Pressing that. Shield smack. The shield smack is my favorite. Because what rogue should have a shield smack? Everyone. That's the answer. If you don't know the answer, every rogue should have a shield bash. And, okay, so this is interesting. My life has interesting ways of, whenever I talk about a thing that I'm really confident about, telling me that I'm wrong immediately. So I was taught that the kind of shield that I'm carrying here with this character, I was taught that shields were not strapped around the forearm, that the way the Aegis and the Phalanx, the hoplite shield, worked was that it had like a door hinge, and you held that door hinge in your fist, and then it had a rope that you wrapped around your shoulder, and that stabilized on the opposite end. And so that's what I said on the stream earlier this week when I was talking about the Aegis shield. I was talking about it last night, in fact, while I was playing Final Fantasy the First, and that is evidently not true. Evidently, they did have a leather strap on the inside of the hoplite shield, and that rope was not for slinging it around the shoulders while you carried it. The rope might, we don't know what it was for, but it might have been for grabbing a hold of the inside of the person's shield next to you, so that you're holding their shield with your shield hand. You're holding the rope inside their shield with their shield hand, and that way the shield walls can lock together, kind of like if you're playing, like, I don't know what that game is, Red Rover or whatever, that game where you lock forearms, or like in rugby, don't they lock forearms for a scrum? So it probably had that effect within the shield wall, but it did have a leather anchor that you stuck your forearm through. So it's weird. It's weird to me that shield technology moved backward from that, because the Roman shield was definitely held like a door hinge, like it was held by like a door handle, like a pot lid. Because the European and Europe, after the Romans, the tradition, the convention of sticking the arm through the shield and then holding on to the pot handle, that was the kite shield of the Normans. That was one of the big innovations that the Normans that produced William of Normandy, William the Conqueror, his people carried shields like that, and it was one of their innovations as a people to warfare at the time, to history. And so it's strange to me that the Greeks had figured it out. But also, I was watching a later guy talk about Greek armor styles and how they did used to have thigh armor and foot armor, and they wore forearm and hand armor at one point, but that all of those got dropped fairly quickly as far as armor conventions go. So armor conventions tend to, it seems like to me, conventions tend to move backward once more people are wearing them. Armors, that is. It's bright out today. It wasn't bright earlier, but it has since the last time I was outside gotten bright. And so of course I'm walking around in this dark ass cemetery outside. Like I'm in the game walking around this cemetery, but I, Shaggy / Vincent, the gamer, am sitting outside on a phone, and I can't see fuck all. But the sound is good, and we're whooping ass. Pretty standard for Shabby Pibeduh, I'm gonna tell you. Truth. He just pokey with his little pokey stick of death. And then he throws down his little trap like that, and then he says, hey, I'm gonna throw a poison bottle at a bunch of undead. I don't know how it's gonna have any effect, but it does. And then we switch over here and we say, shield, smack your stupid face. Oh, that didn't work. How about if I disappear for a second and then reappear, stabbing you in the head? Ha ha ha. What the hell? How many times do you have to die? You're like that fucking guy that wanted to be on my stream this morning. How many times do I have to kill you, boy? It's a line from a movie. I don't actually want to hurt anyone. It's a reference to a movie. Oh, son of a gun. Aladdin is what the movie is. Hit the wrong button. But it worked out. Stabby, stabby, pokums. Throwing knife. Stabbing. Yes. All right. Neat. It seems that I've gotten over my fear of having too many abilities and mostly just standing around not using my auto attack. I've figured out that if you've got enough abilities, they kind of replace the auto attack. Which is going to be interesting with my next build, because my next build is going to rely probably even more on auto attack, because I want to play a warrior. I want to play a Warcraft build, an Ares build. We're going to make like Kratos or something. Kratos is both a word and a god in Greek of this time that we're playing in right now. It means strength, power, I think. Kratos in the later centuries will be the one who actually does the binding of Prometheus. No, he's the one who encourages Hephaestus to do the actual binding of Prometheus to the rock under the Strait of Gibraltar. Foosh. Throne. Yeah. Atlantis myths. Then I tell you, right now, there's a certain amount of, if I'm talking about my financial gains or my financial goals, right now my goal, man, it would be so great to make about $300 and not spend a night. I don't want to spend a night. Spend a day in a hotel. Spend a night in my tent. But just take a shower, take a hot shower. And just be able to stand under the water until it goes cold would just be amazing. Because there's a certain amount of the smells that I put my body through aren't wiping off as well as I would like, but I could be more diligent. It's just hot. It's hot and humid in Ohio. And I just smell, I don't actually stink. I smell like what humans used to smell like all the time until about 2008. I forgot that's how you open the map. And I have completely explored this, so it's time to leave. But man, I would love to meet some of my financial goals. I think a lot about how I spent so much of my 20s, all of my 20s, working for tips as a server. Not all of it. Vast majority of my 20s working for tips as a server, and how good it felt to know, okay, well, I've got my phone bill in my hand right now, so every dollar that I make after this table, I can spend on food, or I'm going to bring food home anyway, so I can just spend on saving, or I can spend on gifts, taking my wife out to drink, or taking her out to dance. She never wanted to dance, but just taking her out to the movies, whatever. And right now, that's just rewiring my brain to not be about the reward is taking me some time. I think that I'm doing an okay job, but man, I just want so badly. I want so badly one of these days to be able to hit my goal of $20. Just make $20 at this, and then know that everything that I make after that, I can put back toward taking a shower. Man, that would just be liberating. Other people get to do it. Spiff and Brit, Donkey, video game Donkey. All kinds of people have made careers at it. Why am I not allowed to? If I find their material lacking, and I don't think it's as good as it used to be, because they want to diversify their lives, fuck their interests, that's fine. Why am I not allowed? Why were they, and why am I not? I don't have an answer to that. And no one will tell me. Why? Because I'm homeless? You would think that being at the bottom would be where people would want to be most involved. And you would also think that it would be where people would want to be most naturally positive, but it's just not. It's just not. Come and watch one of my meditation streams where I just kind of talk to myself about what I'm feeling and watch how people talk to me. It's just not. It's not in anybody's heart to be like, oh, well, he's having a hard time. What I should do is not give him a hard time. They see you as somebody who's weak, that they can get away with giving a hard time to because he can't fight back. Oh, shit, I got my ass whooped by that. They see you as somebody weak that they can take advantage of, that can't defend themselves. And they think that you're not allowed to defend yourself if you climb up on a stage or on a live cast, a live stream, because they're very stupid. Very stupid. It's your stream. You're allowed to have whoever you want in the audience. If you're not working for the club, you're allowed to refuse service to anybody. And in fact, I used to remind the corporations that I worked for of this all the time. I, as an employee of this corporation, reserve the right to refuse service to anyone for any reason at any time. If you mistreat me and I don't like you, I'm allowed to refuse service to you. And that's working for a corporation. That's working in a drive-through. So fuck you. You come to my stream, I don't have to suffer your abuse. I don't have to. And I won't. I don't know why that's even like, a lot of people have to work themselves up into a frenzied emotional state to say that. They have to be all defiant. I'm not being defiant with anybody. I'm not even upset. I'm not even agitated. I will defend myself. I know, okay. There's more down here to explore. I was thinking that maybe that was a side quest, side track, but it's not. And I'm saying all this stuff because this is where you need to begin. You need to begin at being willing to defend yourself. If you're not willing to defend yourself, people are just going to take advantage of you. They're just going to push you around. They're just going to take from you. And so if you're afraid that I'm going to just take from you and leave, then I don't want anything from you. You don't understand. And I'm not a teacher. It's not my job to make you understand. It wasn't any of your teachers' jobs to make you understand. Today's stream was not lucrative. Most certainly it wasn't lucrative. I didn't make any money. And I don't consider the subscriptions that I get from my streams, I don't consider those profit. I don't consider that growth, because more than half of them will unsub once they actually start to engage with my work, or once they realize that I didn't just do that as a one-off. I'm not panhandling, I'm working. So once they realize that I'm not panhandling, that I am working, and that I'm going to be here 2 to 4 times a day, every day, and I'm going to have shorts, and I might even have prepared uploads, which are just called videos, in the way all of these channels are sorted, organized. Once they realize that, they unsub. So I don't consider the gains that what you would call gains, the subscriptions, the new audience, the new subscribers. I don't consider that gaining anything. That's not one of the things that I'm counting. It counts that for me. It tells me, like today on my live stream, I got 6 new subscribers. And that just stresses me out on some level. So like I get into my studio and it's 287. I've already lost one of them. And it's just like, why even do the subscription thing? Why even subscribe? To what end? To what point? I don't know. It stresses me out. So I don't count those as, a lot of people think that, well, you got a new subscriber, so that gets you closer to monetization. So that's a win for you. That's that's me benefiting you, but that doesn't put food in my belly. One more subscription toward monetization that's still more than 200 subscribers away is that's 0.5% of my total need. That would be like if I were holding my hand out and saying I need to make $20 today in order to not die, somebody handed me, well, 0.5% of that, 1%, so we divide 20 by 200, that would be like somebody handing me 10 cents. So because I can do that math, I can evaluate that quickly. I don't get anything out of it. You no doubt think you're doing charity. Oh, well, I'm being charitable. I'm giving him one like that he doesn't have to do, or not one like, one subscription that he doesn't have to do anything except get 499 other people, or I don't have to do anything. I don't have to watch any of this. And now he only needs 499 people if I just never unsub. And that is just not what we are about here. That is not what we are about here. I have maintained for 10 months double my subscriptions and returning viewers. That has slowed down since I have slowed down on my shorts, and since I've transitioned to what my Patreon, actual Patreon subscribers, the people who are actually buying my meals, since I've switched to what they like, my returning viewers are just under double now. I'm not bragging. I'm saying that what I'm doing is I'm making a product that's so good, people, and so consistent, that people watch it regularly for months without needing to subscribe. So I don't understand why people think that a pity subscribe is any better than a pity fuck. A pity fuck where she gets pregnant is that movie Knocked Up. And what, do you really think I want to be Seth Rogen for the rest of my life? Fuck no. The only thing Seth Rogen and I have in common is we like weed. The major difference between us is I don't like to talk about the fact that I like weed. Because a party drug is shameful behavior. A fun time chemical is shameful behavior. I don't smoke weed for the fun times. I smoke weed because I have a lot of chronic pain. And I smoke nicotine because I'm starving to death and it acts as an appetite suppressant. I'm thinking about that because my nicotine vape is almost empty and my weed is down to half. So I've got a few days before I hit withdrawals, and then we'll see how much I really love doing this. Something I was talking about earlier today is, and with ADHD, one of the things that clinical psychology tells you is to remind yourself that you love the thing. You actually like doing the thing that your ADHD is telling you that you just can't engage with right now. And I don't know how. I don't know how that's hyperactivity when it's just procrastination. But I was talking about kind of how I don't find that useful. I don't find it even logical, sensical. It doesn't even make sense to me as a suggestion. Because if you're a yeah but thinker, if you respond to anything with yeah but, yeah but, yeah but, my granddad used to say yeah but. Anytime you said yeah but, he would just respond with yeah but, yeah but, yeah but. No matter what you were trying to articulate. Because if your first response is yeah but, that means that you didn't listen to what was saying or what was being said. Not better than what we've got. Oh, I want to put that in our box because that's a sweet cookie. This is nice. Here we go. I like that it's percent strength, so it goes in the left ring. And then we can put that on the right ring because it's got a bunch of life leech. And then, wow, that's just a lot of bullshit, isn't it? We got to move all this dumb bullshit over here one at a time, which is the most annoying possible way to do this. This game is from 2006, before quality of life improvements or something. Well, before quality of life was something that game developers were concerned about at all. Didn't give a fuck if it was comfortable to play their game. You were gonna play it because it was the only choice you had. They don't treat us a lot different today. All right, we finally got that bat fang, but I think that bat fang was for making this thing. So let's look at what we got over here. Do we have any of them that are finished? This one is. Shroud of Eternal Night, 10 damage, 21 poison damage, 40 energy leaf, 10 piercing damage, 20% vitality damage resistance, 25 stun resistance, 60 health, 10% attack speed. That's pretty fucking sweet. What does this do? Elemental damages, extra burn damage. Ah, man. Do we want to add extra poison damage? It's basically our build, though. Like, the elemental damage that we do is kind of consequential right now. Okay. Where was it? This one? We do so much piercing damage is why I'm thinking it. Okay. So, Helmet Boy, Tooth, Spiral Green thing. Oh, I guess if I put them in the right places. Okay, there we go. Create. Take. Have something cool. Like, do something extra. Extra piercing damage is pretty neat. Okay, so how does that affect our deeps? Current deeps is 177. Yeah, this is the better one. Holy shit, Shroud of Eternal Night's a lot better. Okay, so the Star Heart's still pretty cool though. If we did more elemental damage, it would be better for our deeps. That is, deep stands for is just a way of saying DPS. Shroud of or Scroll of Storm Witches. That's a cool item, but we're not playing as a lightning person. Oh wow, look at all that extra burn damage on that. That's cool. Is that what this is? No. We can almost I thought we could almost make it, but maybe not. Anyway, put my stylus down. Absolutely, I'm going to forget that I've put my stylus down, and that's your fault. I will be blaming you for that later when my stylus is gone. The only reason we are here is because I'm sorry. The only reason we're here is because I wanted to buy health potions, but I've got a lot of finished artifacts. 12% damage reflect, 12% damage reflect, physical resistance. I want that damage reflect. Piercing retaliation. This is going to make us really good. Can enchant shields. Fuck, I can't enchant the shield I'm wearing. I'll show you. Can enchant an epic or a legendary shield. Damn, that's a really good. That would have been a really. That'll make it. The only thing is, if I swap out shields, this is my shield that has the Smacky Smack ability, and I really want to use the Smacky Smack ability for as long as possible. So we're just gonna move on. This increases my poison damage a lot. So that's done. Shields only. Torso armor. I'm looking for rings and amulets. I probably can't do this. I don't need a 5% chance to stun. I don't really need that at all on that ring. All armor with the strength and the health. That would be fucking sweet on those pants, probably. Really, pal? Can enchant all weapons. I have blue weapons, so this just gets to wait. Okay, what was it? It wasn't the book. It was the Fisty Fists. Here, Heracles might. I do approve that they spelled it Heracles and not Hercules. We are in Greece, not Rome. Shashang! And what do we got here? Nothing good on our necklace, so we need to be keeping our eyeballs peeled for a necklace. Like men do. Men wear necklaces if they're enchanted with magic. That's a real thing, dude. What I'm saying is very real. I'm not being funny at all. But I am looking for health potions. I don't know if I bought 2 of those. I meant to, but I don't think I did. There was a scroll. I don't understand this game's choices. Okay, Scroll of Warriors Song is what it was called, wasn't it? Maybe it was the Storm Witches. That sounds like what it was probably actually was. We're gonna look at these necklaces. None of them is gonna be worth a damn. Say that like I know that to be certain. That one's worse than what I've got. Dex, health, yeah, nothing I care about. I say that, and then I look again. Okay, so how many potions do we have? I bought 2 of them. Nice. Now we move back. We go back to whooping ass and taking names. Taking ass and whooping names. Your donkey is mine, and I will kick the boundary sign at your farm. the Waltons. More like the kicked down Signtons. I'm not embarrassed about the way I said that. I can't see anything. No, you be embarrassed about the way I said that. Yowza. It's kind of my move, though, isn't it? To make other people embarrassed for me. I can't see. That's why I'm single. People tell me things like, do you know why you're single? Yes, I know why I'm single. Because I'm a fucking weird guy. Oh my God, this thing is slowing me down so much. I can barely hit it. Woo! Necklace of Foresight sounds like something that we were asking for just a moment ago. And then we poke our way through these little baby skeletons. Pokey, 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 skeleton babies. All right. I know I leveled. I'll deal with it when I feel like it. You're not the boss of me. I'm a man. Look, this guy trying to badger me today about the fact that I have bipolar type 2. It's like, yes, I know I have bipolar type 2. The reason you know I have bipolar type 2 is because I said it. Mentioning it over and over again doesn't make my bipolar type 2 manifest. It's just annoying. And being annoyed is not an expression of bipolar. It's interacting with an annoying person. Whatever. It's just funny to me. I actually enjoy it. Like, a lot of people really don't enjoy it. And so they'll say things like, I don't understand, or I don't get it. And they'll just really rant about it. And they will be ranting because their feelings are hurt. And they actually, they just have to process what they've just been through. I don't. I was abused in middle school. I was abused in grade school. What am I saying? So I understand that people are shitty and why they do the shitty things they do. That's why I'm here. +2 to Briar Ward. That sounds like it's good for the nature build. Is that a shield too? Man, we're getting a lot of shields on this run. Is it a shield? I guess when it says chance to block damage, that's probably a good indicator, huh? Ornamental Greaves of the Glade. +20 pierce damage. Lots of armor. Okay. Health regen, we like that. We like movement speed. And we like reduced damage from beasts. Can we get the necessary strength? Fuck yeah, we can get the necessary strength. Let's come over here. We're going to go to Rogue Mastery. We're going to dump another point into that piece of shit. Actually, we're just going to dump all 3 points into that piece of shit. Now, Rogue Mastery. Next time we level, we will be improving our bleed damage if we feel like it. But really, this is probably the thing we want. Makes our poisons better. Makes them fumble their attacks and cause confusion. Makes my poisons better in general. And we also get to improve our poison grenade to cause bleeding damage with shrapnel glass. So that's fan-damn-tastic. And I didn't do the thing I came in here to do. We came in here to put on these greaves. Yay, we lose a lot of strength for that. We can't wear these greaves without all that strength. That is a serious problem. Okay, but then we're going to put on this necklace here. This necklace with 12% intellect and a bunch of energy. We're probably going to lose some energy regen. That's not as problematic as it sounds. DPS is killing it at 230. Feeling real good. Feeling real great. Looking good. Looking great. See, where you start at feeling good, and then you move to looking good, and then you move to playing good, and then you get paid good, you see? And now I'm trying to figure out how to transition from feeling like $1 million, looking like a bag of shit, but playing very well. Trying to figure out how to get paid good or somewhere along that way. Is paid at all. Mr. S, buddy, I know. I'm not talking to you, pal. Yeah, I know. You're the only person who's out listening to me when I talk on these. Madge, you're out there too. What? Cannot see. using the mini mat, and I could just hold down X and let it do the work for me. La-di-da, just kill them. Hey, there's a chest right there. It's really funny how somehow the nice guys of 2012, 2015, around there, um, women telling guys that they're not allowed to compliment them because if they don't accept the compliment in the perfect way, they're going to become, the nice guy is going to become hateful and aggressive. It's hilarious that that hasn't gotten into the gay community. Like, gay dudes hate women so much, they don't even pay attention to how, they don't even pay attention to what women don't like in being around men that want to penetrate them. It's very funny. You can't want to be something and not hate it, by the way. You can't want to replace something and not hate it. Gay men abhor women. The trans and gender impersonation thing is about hating. It's about wanting to destroy that thing. It's not about imitation. It's not about flattery. If it were about imitation and flattery, it wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be necessary. You imitate and flatter your girlfriend by cleaning the kitchen, not by wearing her underwear, you fucking idiot. This has confused people for centuries, maybe millennia. Ever since men were taken out of religion, young men became very confused. And so we have to play the roles of the female characters. Yes, you have to play the roles of the female characters. Is that in or out of the bedroom? That's at all times, because you're too stupid to do it right if you don't do it at all times. And then method acting happened. Method acting happened, and Heath Ledger died. And it's a straight line. It's all the same shit. It's a straight line from these myths, man. These monsters, these ideas. Satyrs are they're an allegory, they're a caricature of poor people. Wearing goat skins marked you as other when you're talking about people who are wearing silk or linens. Wearing animal hides marked you as less than. So satyrs were real people. They were an analogy for real people, a real class of people. Goat herds. Their metaphors weren't that deep back then. No one would have understood them. When I take a metaphor below the shallow, people tell me that they just can't understand what the hell I'm talking about. So nothing would have been different 5,000 years ago. I don't know why we think otherwise. It doesn't make sense. Have you ever met a human being? The Dunning-Kruger effect guarantees that the better you think you're educated and the more capable you think you are in a situation, the less likely you are to doubt yourself and thus overestimate how good and how capable you actually are. So the more modern and the more urban and the more civilized you think you are, the more metropolitan you think you are, the more likely you are to say and do something racist. The more likely you are to accuse somebody of heinous crimes against themselves and others and feel like you have the impunity to do so. I don't know why my buff's turned off. Probably because I ran out of mana at some point. Alright, well, there are a couple of lovely ladies that are joining me on the patio, so I'm going to mostly get quiet and just comment on what I'm seeing because I'm not trying to interrupt their conversation and I'm not trying to say things that I know are going to make 20-something-year-old women upset just to do it. So this is just paying attention to what we're seeing and trying to be polite because we're in public portion of today's broadcast. If you can find it in your heart, your boy would really like to be able to afford to eat after this. But right now, cannot. I legitimately don't know if I have thank yous to be giving out right now. I didn't think I would. Yeah, we're at 0 and 0. 0 viewers, 0 likes. That's what we anticipated. That's why I was talking about not being worried about these new subscribers. New subscribers that find me live doesn't mean that they're going to start watching everything I do live. They're not going to. I'm not going to suddenly have 6 people guaranteed at every live stream I do. And that's not denigrating the subscription. It's saying that it doesn't translate directly to my ability to feed myself, so I just don't concern myself with thinking about it, and it doesn't make me feel better or worse about the production that I've put on. It's just a number that I can use to tell my financial backers that I am growing, I am doing the best I can. Even if one of those financial backers genuinely doesn't care and the other one is only here because he entrusts my work. He trusts my work implicitly. He probably has a little bit of a crush on me too. Good for him. He's young. Uh-oh. He's young, and you young people are not socialized. You're extremely socially immature, and so you just haven't had the time and the experience necessary to understand what Plato is talking about in the section of the Phaedrus that I read for you yesterday, where he's talking about knowing the difference in somebody who's a friend or somebody that you're in love with and somebody that you're sexually attracted to and somebody that you want to create a pair bond with. You young people aren't allowed to experience these things in your early teens anymore. And so you just don't know. You just don't know. But my generation was the last. Literally, my age group, the kids who graduated after us were so different than us. But literally, my graduating class was the last class to try to hold off until adulthood for sexual experimentation. Experimentation, you see. I guess I am going to talk about things that could upset 20-something-year-old ladies. Because if they're sat there thinking that, oh, he looks kind of cute, yada, 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 we're going to talk about him. And I don't think they are. But if they are, and then they hear me talking about how my generation was the last to hold off on sexual experimentation until after our first divorce, they're going to think that that's a value judgment and that I just don't like young people because they didn't do that, and that's just not what I'm doing. Other people would do that for sure. What the hell? I hear other people do that all the time. In fact, it was really popular. Tate, isn't that his name? It was real popular around 2019, 2020, 2021. Those people really got a loud voice for a while there, which is that's another reason that I just wait. Just wait until that shit is over so I don't get automatically lumped up in with those people. And that hasn't happened yet. It happened frequently when I was trying to make money on Twitter. I did. I was making $250 a month on Twitter, so step off my nuts. I was doing it. But They all abandoned me when I became homeless. Um, for their reasons. It was political. It had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with the people that I brought into my life that were subscribing to me on Patreon. Um, they thought that what I was doing was easy enough that they could steal it and cut me out. A year later, one of those people showed back up into my life asking me if we couldn't do a joint podcast because um, what they had tried to do without me fell apart because none of them has my charisma, my magnitude, my not magnitude, uh, magneticism, or my compassion to hold it together. They were all too busy cannibalizing one another to grow. And if your muscles are, if your body rather is feeding on your muscles because you don't have enough calories or nutrients in your diet to cover the work that you're doing and the damage that you're doing to your muscles with. So the stress that you're putting on your body, if you don't have the calories and the nutrients necessary to repair the old damage, every damage that you sustain is just adding on top of it. So when you add a negative to a negative, -1 plus -1 is -2, right? So you just never catch up. You never heal. You never get better. And so I have to be careful about my cognitive load. I got to be careful about my workload, how much time I spend walking from place to place, how much time I spend talking, how much time I spend thinking, what I'm thinking about. I gotta monitor all this stuff because I don't eat enough calories. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Okay, so we've arrived at the city of Athens, and I'm just looking for something that. Oh, okay. Well, here's a fight. I was gonna say something that needs my attention, because none of these people seem to want my attention. They don't seem to know why I've come. That's what she said. I just can't help but say things that might offend 20-something-year-old women, can I? It's just in my DNA. I had younger sisters. I think it's funny. Their sensibilities are so frail. That is why I didn't have girlfriends in high school either. That's why I'm not getting laid. I'd be friendlier if I were getting laid. That's for sure. If I don't care about negative opinions about me at work now, just imagine if I had the positive approval of a female, even an unattractive one. I'm not joking, but the things I'm saying are meant to be funny. I don't actually mean them at surface level. I mean them at a deeper level of abstraction. Like that joke, deeper. Banging his teacher, and his dad comes in and says, deeper, deeper, deeper. And he says, Dad, I'm doing it the best I can. But you are distracting. Think about that joke a lot. I don't know if that's a I don't know if that's a confession. I used to hear it a lot. People used to tell it frequently when I was a kid in North Carolina. The world's just different now. It's not moved on without me. For sure, no. It's just different than when I was a kid. It's funny. It's funny how quickly it happened. And then that people will argue that the social change of the ancient world happened slow. It's like, no, it just suddenly happened one day. Like there's a reason that it's only now occurring to overweight women to show their naked titties on TikTok. Because it wasn't a thing that occurred to anybody to do before now. So just one day, that changed because it occurred to somebody. Well, wait a minute, I'm a fat girl, but I have titties, and all they really care about is the titties, so why don't I just flash the titties? And then it turns out, oh, right, yeah, there's a thing called chubby chasers, and they tend to have money and resources, but no personalities. Chubby chasers, feeders. And then as I'm scrolling through TikTok, I get to just be randomly bombarded with somebody else's kink, which is rape, because I didn't get the opportunity to consent. I didn't get the opportunity. Consent begins at the opportunity to say no before the thing happens. Then the thing happens, and I didn't get the opportunity to say no. I didn't have necessary information about what I was scrolling into to say no. But they didn't mean any of that stuff they were saying over the last decade about, oh, consent and hey, you got to do it. They didn't mean any of it. They didn't mean it universally. They meant it when it was inconvenient for them. And we don't want it to happen when it's inconvenient. But otherwise, we don't know how to initiate. So it has to happen. So we just want it to happen from the people that we want it to happen from, not people we don't want it to happen from. But we're not going to inform you whether you are or are not one of those things. So we're not going to give you the necessary information for you to consent. So they spent a whole decade talking about the importance of consent and then never defined it. Never defined it, never gave you actionable ways to explore it. And that right there, it's called cult. It's called magic, baby. They were hiding the effect behind a cause that could not be. That is the definition of magic. An effect with an impossible cause. Not improbable, impossible. There is no mechanism by which God could have caused the world to be. So God's causing the world to be is magic. And then you can say, well, the mechanism of God is the mechanism by which he did it. God's mechanism. That remains magic. That doesn't mean that magic is impossible. It just means that you are opening the door to be taken seriously advantage of. To be seriously taken advantage of. That's what I'm trying to say. Because if you're silly enough to open the door to magic, the possibility of magic, you're silly enough to be lied to. You're silly enough to be happy that you are being lied to. And this is why people just can't conceive of the idea that Jesus might have been a charismatic cultist, a holy man or a wise man, a wizard or a magus, in the sense of how everyone described him. Because if he was a charismatic cultist, then there's a non-zero chance that it was all a lie. And belief has to start at the well, there are no non-zeros. There is no non-zero chance. There is a 0% chance, in other words, that Jesus and all of the doctrine and all of the dogma, there's a 0% chance that it's not all right. That's where belief begins. Because if you begin at doubt, If you begin at the non-zero chance that you're wrong, if you begin at the right to be wrong, then how do you close the case? If you convict somebody on the terms that you reserve the right as the state to be wrong, and therefore on your own dime and at your own investigation with no appeal from the defendant, you are going to investigate whether your prosecution, now having rested and the jury having convicted, was wrong. That's what reserving the right to be wrong is. It's continuing to leave the matter open and to look for whether you're wrong. That's how I live. I reserve for myself the right to be wrong at all times. And we talked about it already. I mean, I've already demonstrated it. That's how I found myself listening to people talk about how ancient Greek shields were constructed, because I found myself talking about it at random. And so I found myself going, wait a minute, I might be wrong. I might have been wrong. But the state can't do that. The state can't convict you and then work to exonerate you. That doesn't make any sense. But you do know that that is what discrimination is. It's working to exonerate your prejudice. It's in the word. Discrimination. Uncrimination. You've convicted somebody with your prejudice, and now you're supposed to discriminate by then advocating for them within your behavior. Well, I've convicted them of being human, so there's a non-zero chance they're a dickbag. And then discrimination is saying, well, there are no non-zero chances. They're just not a dickbag. And then further discrimination is going, actually, I was right the first time, if necessary. It's leaving closure open. But at some point, like, especially if you're going to judge somebody or going to give somebody advice, like at some point, they deserve closure from your perspective. So you give me advice and I say, okay, but why do I want to do that? I deserve an answer now because you've offered advice. You've set yourself up as an expert. I deserve an answer. I deserve to be able to ask good questions of the people offering me advice. If I can't ask good questions, I'm speaking once again to a charismatic cultist. Or my parents. I don't have to accept their authority over my life. I don't have to accept yours. 38-year-old man. Oh, I'm glad that's happening now. You know, the thing is, like, you can tell a trash person by their music too. Ugh. Just can't take a man seriously who makes his material for women to enjoy. Women don't like men. Women like being fucked. Women like knowing that you're single and that you don't like your current girlfriend. And they like low end because the vibration makes their little pussies tingle. Guess I changed my mind. They annoyed me by approving of that guy's shitty behavior and shitty music, so now they've annoyed me. So now I get to just face my mumbled wrath. You can tell a trash person by what they approve of, what they tolerate. We've been under the. I don't even think Athens has a catacombs, but anyway, we're under the catacombs of Athens for a while now. This dungeon, it's not so much sprawling as spiraling. Deep, like your mom's throat. Oh boy. Shield dash makes me laugh every time. Oh boy. Pokey, 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 pokey. All right. There's a big fight down there. I like that. I can't see anything. So I hope the level design is good. I hope you like it. I can't see it. Ta-da! Nope. I guess there's not anything standing there. What is this? A door. Oh, that's probably a boss then. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button a bunch of times in a row. Okay. Throw the knife. Oh my goodness. Throw the potion. Why won't you throw it when I press the button? Why aren't you doing the thing? I don't like that about this game. When I press the attack, I would like it to use the attack. I don't want to just depress the icon like I use the attack and then not use the attack. I don't know. I have like this perfectionism, I guess. Oh man. We are standing toe to toe with this guy for a long time. Come on. Oh, it's still on cooldown. Oh, I'm out of mana. That's bad. Not for long. Smacking with the shield and then disappearing and coming back and then dropping another turret and stabbing him real big and dead. Nice. Nice. I have no more room. I find that hard to believe. How do I have so much trash gear in my inventory? What's going on here? Numbing double acts of terror, desecrated crest of endurance. Those sound neat. They were both green. No, I can't use either of them. It's locked. Why is it locked? What do you want me to do or have done? Is there somebody I'm not talking to? Is that a person? Oh, that was a quest. Who are you? Oh, that's Phaedrus. Hey, check it out. Phaedrus, the aged philosopher, namesake of the book that I've been reading to you. I love that he's an aged philosopher in this when he was neither a philosopher nor aged in his book, but whatever, just go with it. Nah, that kind of attention to detail, that kind of attention to detail does bother me. It does bother me. Those ladies left. I am certain they could hear my voice because I could hear theirs. The only reason I couldn't hear their actual conversation was because I was talking over it and I have this earbud in my ear. So I couldn't, but I am certain they could hear me. And yes, I do hold people to the standard of disapproving when people do shitty things. And you're absolutely allowed to annoy me, and I'm absolutely allowed to be annoyed by your behavior. I don't really think that women appreciate how much shitty behavior they've gotten away with historically over the course of the last 10,000 years or 12,000 years since the end of the last ice age because men being able to offlet their genetic material has been so rare. It used to be very rare for men to have a partner if that man wasn't generationally wealthy. If he wasn't basically able to support the livelihoods of 3 women, he wasn't allowed to have one. That was a very real thing. Yeah, I left the conspicuous cough there. They're both TikTok attractive. So growing up, they would have been 6s, but now because they can afford tight clothes, they're, what, 8.5? Whatever. Your job and your clothes speak to your character. They speak to your character. And like the letter L, which is a character, not a symbol, your character speaks to the one thing you are. An L is always an L. Always makes the L sound. Therefore, your character always speaks to what your character is. Always. Tis a law. Always happens. Like it used to be the case that you could assume that a truly beautiful woman was just absolutely evil on the inside. Because in order to have that beauty and be over the age of sexual maturity, you have to be. It's required. Because of the whole setting yourself up to be manipulated thing. You never read Cinderella? Beauty and the Beast. She was beautiful. That was her only character trait. So what happened to her? She was abducted. This is why attractive women outside of countries also have to have skills. Like you'll never see an Asian woman who can't sing or dance or something in addition to being unbelievably beautiful. Why? Because the competition was much higher. Why? Because the men who had access to them were significantly fewer. Significantly fewer. Like you think it's a problem that your girlfriend cheats on you, that you're like trying to keep your pretty girlfriend from cheating on you? You think it's a problem now? Didn't used to be. I'm not saying the ancient solution was the right one. But all the shit feminism argues in favor of is stuff that used to destroy families, that civilizations collapsed because of. So we're going to experiment with it because we don't know any better. Why wouldn't we play with the grenade? Why wouldn't we pull the pin? Fuck do we know? It's like that atheist O'Connor, Alex, is that his name? Talking about you could set up you could set up an organization or a group that was able to keep a secret from the public and protect the public. And it's like, the fuck you could. It'd take about 3 generations before, if you set up a secret cabal to keep the nuclear launch system that has the codes pressed, and all anybody has to do is hit the enter button on the keyboard. It would take about 3 generations for somebody to press it, just to press it. 45 years. We can't even get out of Iraq. What are you talking about? We literally can't choose Iraq, and you think that we're going to do virtuous things because we're virtuous people? Get out of my face. Shit. All right, well, this isn't how I wanted to do this level, but it is how I'm doing this level. All right. It's not exactly what I wanted, but Daddy wants to be able to wear these greaves. Daddy has a pair of brand new greaves. Daddy has a brand new greaves. How's that song go? Daddy's got a brand new bag. There we go. Daddy's got brand new greaves out there. Whee! How we doing for time? 1 hour and 10. Get another 50 minutes in here, I bet. How's my battery? Battery's not awesome, but we're fine. Got about 50 more minutes. And then what I would do, if I'd gotten a tip today, made any money today, is I would go inside and then I would spend that money here locally on this Panera so that I could eat. And I would charge my shit on their electricity, which isn't free. It costs them money. And then I would go to the tent once my battery was charged, and once at the tent, I would live stream again, where I'd play some Final Fantasy and listen to a book. And then I would go up to Taco Bell once that completed, and I would get something to eat, because I could have to count on making $20 doing that. So go up, get something to eat at Taco Bell, charge my shit, come back, stream again, go to bed. That could be my day every day. But I need to make $50 a day. I just need to make $50 a day in order to justify that. And I just cannot ask Mr. S to give me $50 twice a week. I can't ask him to give me $50 twice in 10 days. I just can't. That's spending somebody else's money so fast. And I know it's once given in his mind and in your mind and in your heart. It's my money. But no, I didn't really earn that money. I earned it for sure, but it was given to me. I didn't earn it at the source of the labor. I did something that you thought was worth it. But like, I don't know, maybe that's where price tags fuck things up. Because a Snickers bar has different prices depending on where you buy it. So you buy a standard Snickers bar from a gas station, let's say from a BP, and you're looking at paying maybe $2.50, but you buy that same exact Snickers bar, the same nutrients, the same calories, the same ounce, the same number of peanuts per bar, everything, the exact identical Snickers bar for $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Why? Because the perceived value is higher at the perceived value is higher at the gas station, because you're already buying something that has a perceived value that's tied in no way to its material value. So you're already buying gasoline at this store, so you just know that everything at this store is more expensive than it needs to be, and you're doing that in good faith that it keeps the gasoline down. But the price of the gasoline is always at a loss, and it's random. It's entirely random. It has absolutely nothing to do with whether you are or are not buying it, because you have no choice but to buy it. And so this food that I'm buying at Panera is absolutely not worth what it is. It's absolutely not worth $15 or $20 for the amount of calories and nutrients that I'm getting. But I can't make even the rustic equivalent for myself because I don't have refrigeration. So I'm paying for the refrigeration more than that somebody else is making it for me. I could make it myself, no problem. I worked in food for 20 years. I'm a more than adept cook. I'm a more than avid in the kitchen. I grew up feeding my family because my mother was completely fucking useless. So I had to be the one that cooked dinner every night when I got home from school. So that just means that I have to pay more. I just have to pay more because I don't have the home, and you lack the skill sets. It's like last night I was talking to one of the girls at Dollar Tree, and I like her, and I think she likes me. I don't, not sexually. I just like her, and I think she likes me because sometimes she talks to me. And we were talking about how um, I had just gone up to Taco Bell, and it was toward the end of her shift, and she was talking about how she prefers Raisin Canes. And what I wanted to do was step outside and DoorDash a three-piece up to her because there's a Raisin Canes down at the bottom of the hill. It would have got there in 15 minutes, and it was close to the end of her shift, so it would have got there just in time for her to end her shift, and she would have had dinner. And just been something nice to do for somebody because um, I think about these things because they're the kind of nice things that I would like for people to do for me. So golden rule, do unto others what you would like done for you. And so you just mentioned to somebody your favorite place to eat. You're stuck at work. They've left because they've eaten. What would be nice if they door dashed me food? That would be cool. That would show that they care about me. But it was also just be a baller move. It would just be a cool thing to do. And so I really wanted to do that, but I can't afford it. I don't want sex from her. It'd just be a cool thing to do. It would just be a cool way to tell, hey, thanks for always making small talk with me when I shop here. You don't have to, but you always do, and that's cool of you. So I'll buy your dinner tonight. And that's the kind of gratitude and the kind of reciprocation that I'm advocating because it's how we should have always been living. But you emulate rich people without knowing how rich people live. The reason rich people stay rich is because they're all buying each other dinner at all times. They're not competing with their wealth to buy stupid bullshit like Lulu. What are they called? Lubas. Stupid waste of money. But then you want to denigrate me because I'm homeless. Like you think I'm doing things that are stupid wastes of money because I chose to give up my ability to make an income to live with a woman who was seriously mentally ill, who wouldn't let me leave the house without locking the door behind me and making me homeless. So I couldn't get a job because if I left, I would have been homeless. And she wouldn't help me get my ID or my she wouldn't help me get my ID because she wouldn't help me get my birth certificate or my social security card because I didn't have any money. So she wouldn't pay for them. So I couldn't get them. And literally the first week that I made any real money on Patreon, $250, I was up to $250 a month. And when I cashed that out, she gave me my eviction notice. So I was a quarter of the way to my goal of being able to move out on my own terms, and she yanked the rug out from under me. So this is my life. Talk about women being deadly. Do not put your life at the mercy of any woman, no matter how much you love her, whether she be your mother, whether she be your sister, whether she be your wife. Don't do it. Don't put your life in the mercy of anyone, but most especially a woman. And I'm saying this to women too. Don't do it. Do not do it. There is no woman that has been born in the last 100 years who is a worthy tender. Don't do it. It's probably not true that no woman has been born, but just assume that, and then marry the exception. If you're a man, if you're a woman, just be the fucking exception and then get married. to somebody who appreciates you and have a healthy fucking life instead of chasing dick the rest of your life. Chasing the approval of people who are only there to pay a hooker. They're only there for the serotonin bump of paying you. To compromise yourself. Just looking for the word compromise. They're only there for the serotonin bump, the gratitude, not the gratitude, the feel good of paying you to do something that compromises you as a human being. I don't compromise anymore. Very rarely. Okay. Doing my very best not to eavesdrop on the conversations of the attractive women around me, because that is stalker behavior. It's predator behavior. Eavesdropping on people and then using that to get some benefit. Predator behavior. And I don't participate in predator behavior. Cannot see anything. Do not know where I'm going. So hopefully this isn't a total disaster. So far, I'm enjoying today's stream. I'm very much enjoying today's talk. I am very hungry. But I'm talkative today, which means that when I get back to the tent and I play Final Fantasy for a while, I'll be talkative then, and I'll have eaten on debt, which is stressing me out. But I'm doing my best to just not worry about it, because I got a Patreon payout coming on the 9th. Just enough to cover me for one more month. Basically, just enough to cover the minimum payment. I really need to get on top of the minimum payments. I was doing really, really well. I was doing really well. I hadn't got above $50 in debt, and I was making about $50 a month on my own outside of tips and donations and Patreon rather, subscriptions. I was doing really well, and then my tent collapsed. And when the spine of my tent collapsed and I had to drop that $300 to get my tent back, I've been moving backward from that. I haven't been able to stay on top of it. And now, look, Mr. S, you're listening to this at some point in the future. I know you gave me basically $300 for my birthday, and what a different person would have done is put every bit of it into the debt and then spent none of it throughout the course of the month to enjoy himself. But I chose to enjoy myself for as long as I could on that $300, believing in my heart that God would replace it, because I think we're all allowed to eat more than once a day. I do think that's something that a civilized society should agree on, that we should all be allowed to eat, and it shouldn't be hard. It just shouldn't be hard to help one another, because sending a single dollar, right, shouldn't cost that much. Even I am able to afford the single dollar to be subscribed to Neebs Gaming, and the $15 a month to remain subscribed to my SIP Club for Patreon, or for, where am I, Panera. And I have a few other, I have the Play Pass through Google Play subscription. Like, I've been able to manage all kinds of these things, and I'm the person who's supposed to be homeless and too stupid to know how to live a normal adult life. So your advice, in other words, contraindicates your experience and your expertise. It belies your intelligence, in other words. Belie means to make a lie of. And so what I said is, the things that you say make a lie of your claims at being intelligent. I don't think I'm smart. I don't think I'm smarter than you. But I know that I'm not lying about how smart I may or may not be for attention. Because if you are smart, if you're as smart as you're saying I'm not, it would be easy for you to evaluate how intelligent I am with just a few pointed questions. But like my grandfather said, stupid questions net stupid answers. And what that really means is that if you ask a stupid question, if you ask the kind of question that a stupid person would, you're going to get the kind of answer that a stupid person would accept as good enough. And that's to your detriment, because a stupid person doesn't know the answer already. They don't know what suffices. Oh, I can't hold anymore. No. I've gone and lost my stylus. I told you when that happened, I was blaming you. Ah, there it is. Thank you for finding this so quickly. Look, I'll blame you, but, if it's your responsibility, I'll also give you the credit for finding it. A benevolent-ish asshole. Now, I warned you in today's earlier stream that this was going to be a grumpier stream, a bossier, grumpier stream than the earlier one, because I didn't make any money from the earlier one. And I'm hungry. We all get grumpy when we're hungry. What is this? Can enchant bows. We don't haze no bows. We don't need movement strong. Oh, wait. We can put that on there. What if we put that on there? Do we want movement strong? What is this? That's the bowstring. We want the shoe. We don't want this shoe, though. Can this go on a weapon? Bummer. We could just add more strength and health, like last. There. No, it's like we didn't change boots or something. We could enchant a ring. We have a ring that's enchantable. What do we got here? Brimstone. Fire damage, lightning resistance, burn damage is sweet. Fire, burn, extra chance of fire. I'm significantly less concerned about the, I'm less concerned about lifesteal, to be honest. That's neat. Okay, what do we got here? Shield. Ring and amulet. Energy regen, and that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Alright. Almost time to go, I promise. Rings and amulets. Defense ability. Vitam. That sucks too. Alright, you ready? Ready to beat feet? I was really wanting to... Hey, wait a minute. Don't we have one of these that's really good? Physical resistance and health. Physical resistance and health. Chance to avoid stun. Lame. I don't even know what it was. Okay, padded wraps of the Pegasus. What? How dare you not do what I said? Now do as I said. We could just go to town and sell and stuff, but who would do something like that? What kind of person would do something of that kind? Fierce damage, health regen. What do we got here? Nothing that we care about. Moving on. Time to move on. Time to get right into a big fight. And I can't see to know how much my health is. It was low. That was on me. I messed that up. I should probably put my... That's not what I wanted to do. Probably put my buffs on. Keep that shit good. All right. Moving on. I don't know where a good stopping point would be coming up. I mean, I guess it's just any time, anywhere. Basically, it's just when I'm too hungry, when I just am done. Can't do it no mas because the stomachs hurt too much. Because my stomach's too hungry. This hungry is awful. There's only one house for All Stars, and it's made out of waffles. Anybody a Neebs Gaming fan out there know what I just referred to? I gotta get them documents. I like my hash browns scattered and smothered. I actually don't know if that's true. That's just what he says. Somebody stop that baby. All right, moving on. Stabbing with a pokey spear. No, wait, a pokey stick, also known as a spear. Yak, yank, spang it, stack it, doik. Yes. I don't know that I'm more powerful now, but I feel more powerful. I feel like my sexity has improved by at least 5 points. And the sexity score is not one that is listed within the game, but it is one that I'm keeping track of in my head as I go along. And it's also a subjective score, so sometimes it can go up and down. And sometimes I don't know what it is. But right now, my sexity score is at least a 7. Boosh, 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 doing, twang, twang, thwang, twang, 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 thwang, thwang. And anyway, I say the things that I say that women aren't going to like to hear, not because they're not going to like to hear them, but because they never hear them. That's why they don't like to hear them. It's because men aren't honest with them. They don't lie right to your face. Why will they lie right to your face about how annoying you are? Because you'll be annoying about it. Just get this out of the way. Just get it done, dealt with, so I never have to talk about this ever again. I'll lie right to your face. Do these pants make me look fat? No, babe. Everything you do makes you look fat, is what you can't say. And so I say these things because women never hear them. And if they want to be mad at me and they want to blame me and be like, oh, he only thinks those things because you're saying them, there's a certain amount of, well, I'm only saying it because he's thinking it. He just doesn't have the balls to spit it in front of y'all. And because you think he's your dad, he has to sugarcoat everything he says to you, or you're going to have an emotional freak out. Because you're a baby. You're just a little baby girl. Just a little baby. But infantilization is sexy, right? What if I just talked like this the whole time? Oh, little babies. How would you like that? You would hate that. Guarantee it. Mm. What? Damn it. I didn't want this. I don't want you to have picked this up. Why are you being the way you're being? Just do as I ask so that I can pick this up. I don't want to go to the store yet. I don't want to go on our next armor. Oh, our armor kind of sucks. Stun resistance, physical damage. Yeah, our armor kind of sucks. All right. Oh, that's because we've been holding out for this. There we go. Now our armor doesn't suck anymore. Okay. On we go. Look, all I ever wanted growing up was to be a husband and father. That's all I ever wanted. I just wanted to be a good, devoted husband and a present, loving father. And that was just not in the cards for me. That was actively withheld from me by every woman that I gave myself to. Oh, yeah, I totally want kids. I totally want kids. Okay, well, let's get into a relationship because that's the only thing I've ever wanted. And then they pulled the, oh, I never wanted kids card when you're 3 years into the relationship and it's time to start building toward an adult life. I never wanted kids. What do you mean? Let's get married. Oh, so you just want to live like we're 22 for the rest of our lives. Okay, well, I'm bored. Gonna check out into this bong. Wake me up when September ends. I said that because I was made homeless at the end of September last year. Not because that's a good song. It's a terrible song. What the fuck is left to do? Oh, don't tell me it's not there. Okay. Huh. I don't see anywhere I haven't been or any mark telling me where I might go. I can't go into this. It's all good. That's what these games are fun for, on some level. Oh, here we go. It's just the I can't see. Say it all the time. Minoan labyrinth. Oh boy. Here's the problem. The Minoans were not on mainland Greece. So if we're supposed to, I think we're on Knossos. But if we were on mainland Greece, this would be problematic. But we're in Knossos, which was Minoan, not Mycenaean. So they didn't get this wrong. Stabbing. I don't understand why the automata, though. I don't know why automatoi, when the Minoan people didn't only worship bulls, they also worship snakes. So I don't know why this isn't just loaded down with lamia, the snake ladies. But then the way they used Medusa and her sisters was so underwhelming. I didn't even realize I was fighting them until they were dead. And it was at such a random location. So like this game isn't perfect. It has a lot of stuff that kind of lets me down, actually. But I like the genre, and I like, at least thematically, I like the way everything looks because I like the look of this ancient world. And so I appreciate that circa 2006 Titan Quest, which there is a second one, I guess, that's coming out. I don't know. I do appreciate this for existing and for interesting, or at least trying to interest other people in this very ancient time period. They just did it in a weird and obviously fictional kind of way. Like they didn't try to make it believable or anything other than an alternate reality experience. They didn't even try. And that it's only disappointing from my storytelling perspective, because I'm always trying to get at the lived experience, the real man. What was a real Minoan's life like? Not what was it like to be depicted on a wall. The depiction on the wall is subtly lying. Well, the lie is subtle, you see, because it's what's the word I want? Arranged, modeled, manipulated. An artist's hands and mind have obviously changed it. It's an alteration of the real. And that by definition isn't the real. And the true. And that matters to me. That's why I call myself Philaletea, lover of truth. We're here to reach toward the real. We're here to get at the one, the all, real religion, truth. Jesus called himself these things. I'm not doing anything that Jesus didn't do. And so a question that I would ask is, if it's forbidden to me, why wasn't it forbidden to Jesus? And now I'm being a little defiant. And the reason I'm being defiant is I know you don't know the answer. But I know you know how to choke me out. All right, I got a feeling. Yep, it says right there on the screen. Minoan Labyrinth cannot see anything. So we are going to be doing the maze trick of keeping our left hand along this wall, or always touching a wall. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know if you can see, but the mini map is just a black circle. Okay, so I think I know the way out. Well, I know the next section. Left hand, always on a wall. I heard somebody describe the United States as the escape room of countries. And I think that people think that poverty is the escape room of living conditions. And the calling it the United States the escape room of countries was clever and funny, but also true, because the United States is the only country that's going to tell you what you have to do in order to leave it. That's real. This is the only country that's going to tell you the amount of money that you need to make in order to go and expatriate. Every other country is going to make expatriation extremely difficult. This country doesn't give a fuck if you expatriate. You understand that expatriate means to leave and to abandon your former identity. Here, there we go. There's an aegis. You've been talking about aegis. Aegises. Eegi? Where did it go? Oh, I already have one. The second one I got's better, though. Don't remember what I was talking about. So if I was bossing you around, it's over. Upsy daisy. I think, well, we'll see what happens after this dungeon, but after this dungeon might be the end of this stream, but after this dungeon might be the next narrative section, right? So we might be fighting like a boss or something at the end of this that takes us to like Act 2 of 3 or whatever. It's interesting to me that the English language and English storytelling owes so much, especially in play acting, to William Shakespeare, and yet we don't use his 5-act structure. He always used 5 acts. He said that a life is told in 5 acts, and we use a 3-act structure. Beginning, middle, end, setup, conflict, resolution. It's just interesting. All that means is that the modern audience is less intelligent than Shakespeare's audience. And that's embarrassing. I'm in the modern audience. I don't like saying or observing these things. I most certainly don't like saying them and observing me saying them and thinking that I might be right. I hate that. We have way better public education, way better general knowledge than the Elizabethans did. When was that? The 17th century? Way better. But they were more intelligent than we are. They were just smarter, more patient. And that's not my favorite thing. I don't love that. Hey, Madge. I'll be available for conversation soon. There we go. This isn't too bad. I've been playing blind for about an hour. I haven't died, nearly as many times as one might think. That right there, that's about character development, baby. And that's what I'm always talking about, is character development. You don't know what your life's next challenge is going to be. You don't know. But if you're prepared for it, you'll kick it in the dick. You'll stabby pokey pokes it. Right in the boop boop spot. And that boop boop spot's where it's most weakest. You want to be stabby poke pokes life right in the boop boop spot. Just like that. Did you see him? I stabbed him right in his boop boop spot and he went flying across the room. That's what we're talking about with life. It's all a metaphor, man. You don't get to pick your start spot. You don't get to pick your parents. You don't get to pick your community. You don't get to pick your grandparents. These are things that I became very aware of as a very small child. My parents were hitting me and calling me things like worthless. I realized, I don't get to pick. I don't get to pick who my parents are. I don't get to pick who my friends are. I don't get to pick who likes me. I don't get to pick my clothes. I don't get to pick where I sleep. I don't get to make these choices. I don't get to pick these things. I didn't get to pick these things. But they are my circumstances. And if I deny them, or I pretend like there's something other than what they are, then I will never actually defeat them. I will never actually rise above this. I'll always be this thing I am right now, pretending that I'm not, and overcoming another person's challenges. Or I'll simply just be cheating. And so if I had leaned on my friends for their parents, for their meals, for their love, for their comfort, I would have been cheating. Because if God wanted me to have those things, I would have had those things. Talk about this in game design a lot. It's like Final Fantasy. It's like if Final Fantasy didn't want to make sure that you had the Masamune going into the end of the game, it wouldn't have put it somewhere that you couldn't find it. Just running around in circles. But that's not helping me. And I know I'm using the wrong left hand. It's just, I can't see. So I'm doing my best. And it's kind of like that, right? Like if you were born blind, right? Like if you're born blind, you just have to,